So, basically what I'm talking about today is on how you can uncover the greatness in you. In you. Each one of you. But the interesting thing is this, right? Because it's not the greatest in me, it is greatness in you, we will do this talk together. Now, I'll tell you how you can join me in doing this talk because I don't want to do it alone. So what will happen is that when I say check, I want you to say check. Check. But here's the interesting thing. There's some people that are supposed to be here that are not here. They're probably walking around BUK thinking, what is this TEDx about? So I want us to show them that something is happening here. So I want you to raise your voice so that they can hear you from the gate. Check. Check. Fantastic. So for you to unleash the greatness in you, right? You have to be successful. If you don't want to be successful here, let me see your hands up. So we all want to be successful. Check. When you are trying to unleash the greatness in you, one of the ways that you can do is to go back to your past. And that's what I did. I went back to my past and I realized that all the trouble I entered as a child was because of horses. Because I grew up in Kaduna. Ahmed knows how far. Right? I grew up in Kaduna and we were staying near Murtala Square. So there were always horses passing in front of our house. In fact, let me do a detour and tell you one short story. So this was on Eid Day. And the kaftan that my mom sewed for us was white. And my mom told me, on no occasion must you dirty this kaftan. Do you hear? I say yes. Do you hear? I say yes. I just came out. We were waiting to go and take pictures in Studio 24. And those days in Kaduna, if you've not taken Salah picture in Studio 24, you've not even started. So we're waiting. And I came out. I just stepped out of the house. Then I saw people with horses passing. And this particular horse, the only horse that passed, there was no saddle on it. And I asked them that, please, I want to ride. They said, but there's no saddle. I said, I'm a pro now. I can ride the horse without saddle. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I climbed the horse. By the time I came down, and I rushed, running to my mom. I didn't even know what had happened. Running to my mom, I was like, Mom, guess what? A horse was just passing, and I was able to climb it. And she was looking at my whole body black. Like, what did I do to deserve this kind of child? So I realized that I loved horses. So I told my friends that, you know what? I'm going to start playing polo. Just as Shirem said, you know when we say bold, audacious goals? And so that's what my friends did. They laughed at me. They said, Polo, you. I better go and sit down. But here's the interesting thing. That was when I decided to do that. When I went to try to play polo, I realized that I was an unconscious incompetent. Meaning that I didn't even know that I could not play polo. Right? But I stepped in. All I did was after work. So I was working in Club Road then. So as I was going home, I just entered Kano Polo Club. I just drove in. And somebody now said, what are you doing here? I was like, I want to start playing polo. How do I start? And the guy says, can you ride horse? I was like, yes, I can ride. And he gave me a horse to ride. Ladies and gentlemen, long story short, less than 3 years after that, the way you're sitting down here was how my colleagues sat down and watched me win one of the prestigious tournaments in Kano Polo Club. How did I do it? You see, realizing that I was an unconscious incompetent, I now started practicing, which now made me become a conscious incompetent. Then I knew that I did not know how to play polo. You know, there's a difference between riding horse and playing polo. There are two different things. Then I started practicing. Now, the problem people face is when you try to do something the first time and you realize that you are a conscious incompetent, you become aware that you don't know how to do it. Guess what happens? We give up. We walk away. Maybe it was baking. Maybe it was doing marketing on Instagram. Maybe it was even talking on TEDx. You tried to make a speech once in front of a class and you were stuttering and you were not able to do it and you give up. You see, One of the amazing books that I've read recently, right, is the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And one of the things that he stated was that for you to gain mastery in anything, you need to have 10,000 hours of practice. Ladies and gentlemen, I earned my 10,000 hours of practice. So every morning, I was staying in railway quarters. Every morning, I would go to Polo Club in the morning, practice, come back home, have a bath, go to work. After work, go back to Polo Club, practice. I did that consistently for 2 years. The mistake that a lot of us make is this. We complain about the results we are not getting for the work that we're not willing to do. Correct. One check for you. Check. I'll repeat that again because it was so good. We complain about the results we're not getting for the work that we're not ready to do. And so if you want to move from being a conscious incompetent to move to the point where you become a conscious competent, you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to put your nose to the ground and do what is necessary. And when you keep doing that, with that 10,000 hours, you gain mastery. And you get to the point where you become a what? Unconscious competent. Where you can do it at any point in time. I'll share with you another story. Now, look at it. I'm standing in front of you here, and this is my second TEDx event. Speaking in front of people has become something that, even if you wake me up from sleep, I can do. In fact, you know what? Let's use check. 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 All of us would like to gain that kind of proficiency. What if I told you that 5 years ago, if you had asked me to come and stand in front of you here, I'll only be blinking and shaking. I'll just be doing like this, like that. So let me tell you an interesting thing. So, and here's the funny thing. You see, when you are uncovering the greatness in you, sometimes things that are not even related will help you propel you. So when I started playing polo, right, what I started doing was I would post pictures of me playing polo. And you know that polo pictures are cool, right? Right? Yeah, they're cool. So, but I now realized that I was becoming bored of just posting polo pictures. So I said, you know what, let me start getting motivational quotes, attaching it to the pictures so that to add more swag. You understand? So that's what I did. I started putting motivational quotes. You can believe it. Then you now see me with on top horse. You know, you can achieve. You know? And so when I did that, it now unlocked a new thing that I didn't even realize. So people were not just loving the pictures because of the polo, but they were relating to the motivational quotes as well. And then a crazy idea hit me. That I can make the mistake of being a motivational speaker. I'll tell you why I thought it was a mistake. So what I did was, I went to join a course, right? And the name of the course is Mastering the Business of Your Talent. And it says that all of us have talent and we can make it into a business. So when I joined the course, it's a 6-week course. I did it, at the end of the day, they gave us assignment. One of the assignments that was given to me was I needed to do an Instagram live video. If you've ever done Instagram live, let me see your hands. You know how difficult it is. So this particular day, as part of the assignment, I was supposed to do an Instagram live. Now, I didn't have all this tripod, all these funny things. So you know what I did? I carried my laundry basket, put a flat something on it, and then I kept my phone with a rechargeable lamp behind. Because, they say lighting now, And when I started the Instagram live, one of my friends joined the Instagram live, and as soon as he joined, guess what he said? Oh boy, why you put rechargeable light? You don't get light for house. And I was like, what kind of thing is this? Now, as if NEPA wanted to corroborate him, they took light. I was sweating profusely. My hands were shaking. I was stammering. I know what I said. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this again. I give up. I'm done. I have a good job. I mean, I was working in oil and gas then. I was like, I have a good job. My job is good paying. I don't need all this. I don't need to be a motivational speaker. And I closed the phone and I went to bed. So luckily, my wife now told me that, look, if you stop here, you won't do this thing again. So just go online. And see, at that point in time, before I did the IG live, I was an unconscious incompetent. Because I said, it's not a motivational speaker. Everybody can do it. All right. While I be like bicycle. So when I attempted to do it, I realized that I was a conscious incompetent. I realized that I couldn't do it. And I did the normal thing all of us would do, and which is to give up. But guess what? Luckily, I continued. And as I continued, I became better at it. Now I can't even count the number of Instagram lives I've done. I can't count the number of speeches I've done. In fact, you know the funny thing? So I even decided to even make coaching, consulting, and speaking as part of what I do now. Here's the interesting thing. The day you identify, there are 2 days that are important in anybody's life. The day you were born and the day you realize why you were born. Each one of you here have a masterpiece in you. Each one of you here need to do the work that will unlock the masterpiece in you. And one of the ways that you can identify what is that masterpiece is to go back in time. Remember, I told you that when I was thinking of what to do, I went back in time and I realized I liked horses. When I decided that I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I went back in time and I realized that one of the things that was constant in my school report was that Othman is a noisemaker. It was constant. The one thing that my parents always wanted me to stop is stop talking. They were like, you talk too much. Choo-choo-choo here, choo-choo-choo here, choo-choo-choo here. So what I realized was talking comes naturally to me. But what do I need to do is to find how to channel it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've sat in platforms where, in fact, sometimes my fees go as high as ₦1 million for me to just come and speak. Yes. And it's because I've been able to identify what my talent is. A lot of us sitting down here, you have talents that you are too afraid to unlock. You are too scared because you are thinking, what will people say? You are not sure. You are afraid because you found when you try to do it, because you think that is a talent, it will come naturally to you. But you need to understand that you have to go through the 4 stages of learning. And that first stage, I'll recap it again. The first stage is you need to understand that you be an unconscious incompetent, meaning that you don't know that you don't know. The second stage is when you become a conscious incompetent. That is when you try to do it. And 90% of people stop at that point. But ladies and gentlemen, if you keep going, you will get to the point where you become a conscious competent. And when that happens, you begin to see the amazing things that you are able to do. And if you keep going at it, you can get to the point where you become an unconscious competent. When you do that, and you unlock that mastery, that's where greatness is. And as you keep going to do that, I want you to know that I believe in your capacity to get there. And I'll end my speech with 2 checks. Let's give 2 checks to tell people that we're still here. And then I'll let you know one thing that you can do to get the greatness that you desire. Are we ready?
Yes.
The clapping will come, don't worry. Are we ready? Take a deep breath in. Out. Check.
Check.
One last one. I want this one to rouse the entire BUK. Check.
Check.
Everything that you desire is on the other side of fear. Thank you very much.